Hi, I'm Amy from Select Travel Holidays, home of Cruise Select. I'm on board the Sylvia Earle, which is the newest ship with AE Expeditions, also known as Aurora Expeditions. We are currently heading from Deception Island to Half Moon Island in the South Shetland, towards the end of our Antarctic voyage now. I'm here with Scott Portelli. Thanks for joining me. He
Thank you.
is the ship's photographer, and so we're going to ask him some questions. So again, thank you for joining me here, Scott.
No problem.
You've been part of the E team since, is it 2017? Is that correct?
Yeah,
Mm.
2016-17 season. Yep.
And do you just do Antarctica, or do you do the other
No,
destinations?
I work in predominantly the
Mm.
polar regions,
Mm.
so Arctic and Antarctic. Uh, it varies sort of in the Arctic because we do go places like Greenland, Iceland, Norway, which
Mhm.
is quite amazing. And down in the Antarctic, we do the subantarctic regions as well, such as South Georgia and the Falkland
Mhm.
Islands.
Okay, thank you. So, um, as I say, you're the ship photographer, but you have a little bit more of an involved role than a traditional, mainstream cruise line ship photographer, don't you? You're not just going around us our dinner tables taking
No.
cheesy photos of us. So, do you mind explaining a little bit about your
Yeah,
role?
yeah. So the photography program encompasses a lot of aspects of what we do here, the expedition side of things, as well as
Mhm.
obviously taking photos in beautiful places. But on board, we do a number of things. We do lectures, anything from an iPhone lecture all the
Mm.
way to talking about more detailed settings for your cameras and the locations we're going to. We do what we call a bar Q&A,
Mhm.
where we get it's more of a casual approach to things, and we get people to come up to the bar and say, "Hey, if you've got any problems with your cameras or your settings, or you need help with what to shoot tomorrow," and it's basically bouncing ideas off
Mhm.
a group of
Mhm.
people who are interested in photography. We also do a photography zodiac when we're
Mhm.
in different locations, and basically it's more of a focus on getting photographers and like-minded people who want to take a bit more time, be a bit more focused on subjects and things like that, and learn a bit about photography in
Mhm.
the way. So the program encompasses so many different aspects of what we do as a photographer on board.
Thank you. So, as I mentioned earlier, you've been with AE now for quite a while. So, what attracted you, or what do you think is different about working with AE expeditions?
Yeah, look, I think working with Aurora over the last 7 years, I think the key thing, and a lot of people will say this, it's about the team, it's
Mhm.
about the people you work with and the places you're going to, and those shared sort of memories. So working with good people who eventually become long-term friends
Mhm.
is a great aspect of being part of the Aurora team. And not only that, we get to go to amazing locations. We meet people from eclectic
Mm.
backgrounds who've traveled the world extensively, and everyone's got a story to tell.
Mm.
So, being on an expedition ship where we've we've got still got the expedition spirit involved makes a difference.
Thank you. So again, since it's been, and what you're, oh, I'm trying to think, can't calculate in my head, seventh or eighth season maybe with Antarctica. What sort of
Antarctica.
changes have you noticed?
I think the main changes have been more environmental
Mm.
changes over the years, like seeing how um, we're learning more and more about the wildlife that we're seeing,
Mhm.
where we're seeing changes in the way we visit places and the different sort of aspects of you know making sure that this environment's going to be around for many years
Mm.
to come. So with a protection, a conservation focus, um, with everything we do, means that we're thinking about you know the places we are, and how our impact changes things. So I think the main changes I've seen is there's been more regulation around what we should be doing,
Mm.
what we can be doing to sort of make this a better place.
Mm. So would you say that's perhaps some of the biggest challenges with expedition cruising, although obviously for the best of reasons? Or are there other challenges with expedition cruising that someone might have to consider if they were to try one for the first time? Or I guess you might also say the rewards outweigh the challenges.
Yeah, look, I think being on expedition,
Mm.
just name expedition sort of gives you a bit more of an adventurous spirit. And I think at Aurora we've always had that, and even to the point of, you know, getting on zodiacs in, you know, more than calm oceans and getting out to environments where you're going through frozen brash ice or you're climbing a mountain. Like, you know, we still, you know, have this expedition spirit about us. So I think people who choose this.
Hello everyone, if I could have your attention please for a minute.
Thank God for editing.
What was it? You want to ask that question
that's
again?
Quite a good example of expedition cruising, because there's frequent announcements. Sometimes it's something exciting about a whale, and sometimes it's about the logistics of disembarkation. So we were talking about the. I mean, that's slightly less adventurous, and what we were just. Oh, no.
But they forgot to turn it off. Yeah, look, I think, you know, the thing about an expedition ship too is the fact that things change because of weather, location, something amazing's happening outside. So we go, yeah, let's change the plan. Let's play and, you know, see what's happening in the environment. If whales are here, there's no use going to the next spot if we can see some amazing behavior. So yeah, I think you've got to be a bit more flexible on an expedition ship because of all the interesting things that are going on. And, you know, most of the time the plans are changing for your benefit. They're changing to make, you know, something a bit more amazing happen, or let's, you know, we've had an opportunity to go somewhere where we might not have had before. So, you know, really, you know, people choose these sort of trips because they're looking for a bit more adventure, a bit more remote, a bit more something different than, you know, the mainstream sort of, you know, tours you can do in these sort of regions.
Yeah. So do you have like any particular favourite experiences so far in this cruise?
This cruise, I think yesterday must have been a highlight for everyone, being around humpback whales feeding. They were bubble net feeding, they were lunge feeding. No matter where you were on a Zodiac, whichever direction you looked, there were whales fluking up and showing their tail, or they were coming out of the water feeding. It was overwhelming. It was a visual feast, I think, for most people yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I was on the Zodiac where it was with Christian, and it was within. It felt like you could actually touch them on my side of the Zodiac. I mean, it was amazing, but it was also at the same time I was having a bit of a problem with my camera, and I couldn't work it. So I was like, I'll just live in the moment.
Yeah, look, and sometimes you have to live in the moment, and like, you know, those sort of encounters where you've stopped, it's calm, and then all of a sudden a whale turns up next to you. Like, you know, we are always conscious of, you know, following guidelines and rules, but the animals don't know that.
No,
and you know, they'll come up next to your Zodiac, and you know, the safest thing to do is let them pass and let them do their own thing. While you enjoy the experience.
Okay, well, thank you so much for your time, Scott, and thanks for answering my questions.
Okay.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.